Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Jeff coming at you with another edition of Accelerate Flow State. And I've been thinking about why I felt this call to transition from the past series that I did, Mindset Monday, into this idea of Accelerate Flow State. So I've been thinking about this tighter definition of mindset and the difference between my thinking today and how I was thinking before in that series. And it really just kind of made me hone in on that mindset. To me, seems more like I am creating those mindset tools or those mindset intentions to push through the limitations, the programmed limitations in my mind. And that's great. Like, that's an amazing step on my journey, and thinking back to the past of how these things have served me, how this transition into these new mindsets has served me. But in degrees and over that time period as well, I have also transitioned into a higher level of consciousness. And I think that where I'm at now is I'm on the other side of that, where the higher level of consciousness is really the foundation and the main part of how I operate. So what does that mean if I'm talking about a higher level of consciousness? To me, it means more of an alignment between my head and my heart, and kind of like my purpose in life and what I'm doing and how I'm expressing the actions that I'm taking on a daily basis. So it becomes less of how do I push myself to get past that limitation that I have financially? How do I push myself to get past that limitation with my health and go be healthier and do that jog or do that workout or do that ice bath or whatever it is? It becomes way less about that, and it becomes more about, am I doing this action because it's calling me to my higher purpose? Is this action in alignment with my higher purpose and the goals that I've set myself and the place that I want to be in life as the highest expression of who I am? And if that's not in alignment, then I'm not doing it. There's no pushing myself to do it or anything like that. And in fact, when those things are in alignment, there is no real mindset around, well, I'm pushing myself towards that. It's more of a pull and a draw energetically towards those things, because I know that those things are ultimately going to get me to where I want to be and to create this new expression of who I am in real time. So the other night I was thinking about something completely unrelated. I needed to look something up on my phone from some past emails, and I searched a term, and it was a tight term. I can't remember what it was, but there were only like 5 emails that came up. And one of them was an email from about 5 years ago when I was ending a relationship with someone. And I got intrigued, and I was like, I wonder what that was all about. Like, let me remind myself of all of the different details. And this particular email was a question and answer, or kind of like a thought and answer of, me responding to this person in real time about what they were challenging me about and my own expression in the relationship. And I had asserted myself very, very well, and it was related a lot around the energetics of the relationship, the mindset of the relationship, the negativity in that case of the relationship, or at least the framing of what was happening in the relationship in a negative light. And I was standing up for myself in every point. It was a very long email, but I sat there and read it to remind myself that, hey, I was assertive. I stood up for myself, and I made it clear that that relationship was no longer in alignment with who I wanted to be or where I wanted to be in my life, and that I anchored into the fact that if you're not on board with me is in moving forward in a positive mindset at that time, in a positive way, then I'm out. And that relationship ended. And so looking back at it from this point in my life, and being that long ago, I was very proud of myself that I was able to stand up in that way. And I think that overall, when I talk about flow state and I feel into what I mean by flow state, it's that you're removing all of these limitations and obstacles out of your way, so that or out of my way so that I can flow energetically into the goals that I've set forth for myself, the vision that I have for my future, the highest expression of myself that I want to have in the world. And all of these things are limitations. We have the like financial programming limitations. We have relationships in our lives that maybe hold us back from our highest expression. All these other things, right? These beliefs and all of this stuff, these are all just obstacles that we have to push out of our way. So it's not about I'm getting information so that I can be more confrontational with those things. It's like, how do I become the person that I want to be so that those things transmute and no longer matter? Those things just dissolve, right? And a lot of times we may have to stand up for ourselves. We may have to leave relationships behind. After I had that kind of experience of dropping in again back into that email from the past, so long in the past, and recognizing what I had to do in that moment to do what was right for me in my heart, that I started thinking about other instances of when that's happened and when I've had to leave people behind, and that was the best thing for me. And I was not pressured, or pressured, I guess, or guilt or shamed is a better way to say it, into staying in those relationships because I did what was best for me. And I think that as entrepreneurs, that's what we have to do. We have to do what's best for us. And we're not like everybody else in a lot of ways. We don't express ourselves the same way. We don't think the same way. And that's gonna create some cognitive dissonance, or not necessarily confrontation potentially, but it's going to be more of a dissonance, an energetic dissonance in the way that you're expressing into the world and the people that you're around. And part of this is like we're talking about the mastermind and things like that, and hanging out and being around other people that are in that frequency. They're saturated in that frequency of entrepreneurship. That gives us so much hope for the future. It gives us so much more of a powerful, grounded approach and sort of a communal experience where we can all say to each other, you're okay, I'm okay, you're okay, we're in this together, like let's go create some shit that doesn't exist, you know? And that's what entrepreneurship is. So this was a fascinating sort of thought process for me, again, to shift from what are the mindsets to what are the levels of consciousness that are going to allow me to get to where I want to be, and how do I continue to remove these limitations, whether they be financial programming limitations, or they be relationship limitations, or otherwise, that noticing these things in real time give me also the confidence and the confidence more than anything else of being like, I'm in this to win this, and I've already come so far. I've already put my foot down and said, this is who I am, this is where I'm going, and regardless of if I have to give up relationships on the way, I have to do what's right for me to express myself to the highest level of my potential. And that's, to me, what entrepreneurship is all about, is throwing all of those obstacles in your path so that it challenges you to overcome them and you become the highest expression of yourself. That is flow state to me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.